Utie oha echi ponkno. Needs FM.
Of Parliament for Tamale Central, Inusah Fuseini, or a former Roads and Highways Minister, and Konkochuchun Komo. At the MOU signing ceremony, no, na Honorable Fuseini, and Joyce Bawa Mutari, and Asanwege, President of the Republic then, John Dramani Mahama, and now Ura Re Anamu, and or a former Director General of Gapuha, and Papa Asuma Banda, and Papa Samara, Chief Executive of MPS. Honorable member for Tamale Central, good afternoon.
Oh, fine afternoon. I apologize.
Nyamia dum ya ho na anso so
me ho ye na Japan.
Right. October 2014. Na wo ewo hobby na Gapoha ene MPS Esa Memorandum of Understanding. Emma okra wo kan bi. They then said say they will build a motorway for us, and then you even commented on it. Can you tell us background to it?
The MPS na omo ni Gapoha no omo and negotiate the port expansion, Tema Port expansion project. Na project no a PPP project, that is public-private partnership. And the omo negotiating no, the end result was an expansion of the port. Now, port no omo expand there. It was anticipated that there will be an increase in cargo. Now, more per se, yen reduce congestion at the port. Now, if I say yen redevelop the motorway and the Tema runabout, so that the cargo no bar, yet move cargo no immediately out of the port for their final destination. I was not part of the Tema project. Now, it's complementary project. I don't know the expansion or the development of the Tema motorway, a dedicated route from port to the Tema motorway, and the redesign of the Tema and not the under the jurisdiction of the Minister of Roads and Highways.
Now, I didn't Anna at the onset of the MOU signing, no, there's been an agreement for which you even commented, say, Omobeye Tema motorway na mai, but a nay, and ye MPS and a Tema motorway. I didn't try.
When we finally they finally signed the memo and they looked and back there is a extra portal and it is a simulation and calculation HSA and there will be increase in cargo and yet I remember that President John Dramani Mahama said, okay, MPS, can you help us get resources to do the Tema motorway expansion project so that when the and that's why the motorway was redesigned into a 6-lane motorway. And to redevelop the Ashama and of the Cuba.
Ana we no agina yie kakra bi dia man na online ni twitwa ya no agina yie man.
After the Minister of Roads and Highways get a number of bridges.
Your bomb modern say Honorable Inusah Fuseini in line no be gina so ye because you perceive na Honorable Inusah Fuseini te ho as the rules minister and Joyce Bawa Mutari eso te ho nom as deputy transport minister. Now we want to find out to say obi our represented in as part of the contract signing say obeye tema motorway amount as part of the master plan of the port expansion and so wanye motorway na amount now with the federal new funding at the motorway now do we have enough to say at the end renegotiate na
contract
yeah it nature say we can say MPS no okay now we have Honorable Fuseini but what you can ye good now you person find out say you are you try you kwaso san lawyer. If MPS represented to the team, say Omo Ebe completely rebuild the motorway for us. Now and when the agreement kicked in, now say Omo and build the motorway for us. Do we have enough under the contract to renegotiate, or can you make the contract voidable?
Well, for me, the parties to the contract have to be held responsible for the contractual terms. And then say, MPS was to do certain things in the contract. Government was to do other things in the contract. So you have to look at the parties, almost obligations under the contract. And then you can then come to the conclusion whether the contract is voidable or can be terminated with a cost to state or cost to MPS.
Because we can tell, say, MPS so say or no, or ye bypass. Now, under the contract representation, was it to rebuild a bypass or to rebuild the motorway completely?
It was to rebuild the motorway completely. Completely 6 lane. In fact, at the point, MPS said that, they want to use bitumen, that is asphalt, to do the Tema motorway. And we said no, because of the sentimental value, because that is the first concrete road in Ghana. And we want to maintain the sentimental value. So it should be concrete. So we had passed that stage of 6 lane. We had gotten 6 lane, slip roads up to the point of the Bashir about, or if you wanted the Bashir interchange. Our next discussion was from the interchange up to Malam or the branches towards Achimota. But we have concluded discussion on the Tema motorway.
So, as the then Rose minister, being a lawyer to boot, do you believe, say, the promise or the representation from MPS said they will build the motorway completely, must have influenced the signing of the MOU, Anna?
Which MOU? There are 2 MOUs that are involved. Because there is the MOU between the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of and the MPS, and there's the MOU between the Ministry of Roads and Highways and the MPS in relation to the redevelopment of the Tema motorway and the dedicated route from the harbor to the Tema motorway. The 2 MOUs.
The MOU that was signed on that particular Saturday, do you recall?
Oh, that Saturday was not my MOU. It was the Minister of Transport.
But at least you were present.
I was present, yes.
Yes. So we want to find out, said that MOU that was in which the representation from MPS that they will completely rebuild the motorway, would you say that must have influenced the agreement to say the Yampa deed of agreement Nimrana or Mumra Meye Terminal 3 Nana?
Terminal 3, right?
Or more a MPS new terminal, they call it Terminal 3.
Okay. Well, the MOU that was this signed was signed for the expansion of the Tema Harbor. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, when the MOU was signed, then discussions ensued as to how to develop the Tema motorway. So the two were not related.
So at the time, now MPS forces they will completely rebuild the Tema motorway. Had the then John Mahama led government, no almost contract loan from Japanese sources to also build the motorway.
No. The Japan facility had been secured long before the expansion of the motorway, but that was not to develop the motorway. That was to develop the Tema interchange, Tema motorway interchange.
So the MPS was to rebuild the entire motorway carriageway, but the Japanese facility
was to build the interchange.
So now you tell us, say you do not know why MPS one build the motorway now, man.
No, I don't know. Because even up to the last point of my stay in the ministry, I remember MPS was always putting pressure that they want to start. But my officers had said that the design and engineering must be completed so that they can hold them to account for the work that they would do. So that is why I didn't see the commencement of the work. Initially, we had said that the work will even commence in the third quarter of 2016. But every engineering work and design was not completed. So couldn't start. And I remember that they were looking at an amount of between $200 million and $240
million. So now, Uka said there was an MOU between Ministry of Transport and MPS. What was it about?
It was for the expansion of the Tema Harbor.
Okay. And also Rose Ministry, no MOU Ben and also MPS.
The redevelopment of the Tema runabout, so that Omba removal bottleneck. Because they were going to carry rock from the that area, the Wenya area, Char Hill, Char Hills area. The Tema motorway constituted a barrier. That traffic was very. So they came to the ministry as part of their corporate social responsibility that Omumba used $6 million to redevelop the Tema motorway so that the Omumba reduced bottleneck, so there was free flow of traffic. So that when they arrive at the Tema motorway, their vehicles will not be stuck in traffic. And so we approved that. So that was the first MOU that we signed for the redevelopment of the Tema runabout. Before we started the work on the excavation to do the Tema flyover, the Tema runabout flyover, they had redeveloped and reconfigured the Tema runabout. And so that was what was that. The second MOU we signed was the development of a dedicated route from the port to the Tema motorway and the redevelopment of the Tema motorway.
So as it is, you are suggesting, you are saying, MPS did not offer to build the whole motorway plus the interchange. It was not put together.
No, it was not put together. No. MPS was not even going to build an interchange. There was no discussion at any point in time that MPS will build an interchange. No, because that interchange, the facility was already secured.
From the Japanese side?
JICA people, yes.
So, DNT and MPS, a year bypass our current government, in the execution of the JICA facility, almost as say bypass.
Well, I don't know why the government has spoiled the bypass. I don't know. But I know that they redeveloped as part of their corporate social responsibility. Now, a cano, Oman found two abines, so almost say, because they were going to expand the port, they needed to clear the traffic. And to be able to clear the traffic, they had to rework the motorway and create more lanes and bypasses so that if you are going to Tema, you don't need to come into the motorway. You just take your right turn at the approaching the Tema motorway and you go so that you don't come into the motorway, and that will free up the motorway.
So MPS from Tema Harbor up to the motorway runabout no sa road no so omo ye yana.
No, that was the dedicated road. Not the dedicated route to the hospital road, no. Hospital road, Tema Hospital Road, up to Port, Tauba, Ufa Hospital Road now. It will lead you to the interchange where Achama, you join Achama. That was the dedicated route.
So, as a lawyer, as a member of parliament, if indeed the MPS was committed to rebuilding the Tema Motorway completely as part of the port expansion project, na omo anya ubusa who say advice Ben Adebema the current government on that.
That I've said it already. You have to look at the terms of the contract. You have to look at the terms. Because our MOU is not a contract. It cannot by any stretch of imagination be interpreted as a contract. The final agreement that we entered into with them, you have to look at it and appreciate the duties and responsibilities of each party and see whether there was a breach and who will actually be responsible for the breach and the consequences will lie.
At the time, no, now Unim say Gapoha had invited international competitive bidding, for which the process at an F20 companies, of which 7 had been selected, and that a day before, say, Mokoko sign MPS ni Gapoha sign MOU, no, Gapoha had to cancel international bidding processes. Now,
in terms of the port expansion,
yes.
No, I don't know that.
So if you are to say, if you are told today, say this is what happened, say Friday and Gapoha cancel nina, Saturday and Amunina Mkot now, and Nuntina net the then Director General of Gapoha, Rihanna Munamutuana or Shell Lacoste, now on share a friend's official dress.
Oh, no, Saturday. Mrs. Ovimpo, I didn't go there because of the signing agreement. Then Mrs. Michelle Lacoste, Michelle T-shirt. I think I was also wearing a T-shirt. But I just went there to brief the president. Lankasa, we were looking for opportunities to develop the Tema motorway. And a company in South Africa had come to express interest in developing the motorway on a PPP basis. So Lankasa, me call President Hall to brief him on what the company has said and what steps to take. And but during the course of my briefing, the president said, now, Inusah, these people are going to develop the motorway, the Tema harbor, are going to expand it. It should be interesting to develop the Tema motorway. So if they have resources to do the Tema motorway, let's ask them. If they have resources, I can recall that it is at the table that Osman Banda said, yes, we should be able to find money to do. At that point, Osman Banda said, we should be able to find about 100 million to do it. And he turned to the MPS man, Samari, and they said, okay, let's go see what we can do. And so my briefing even was truncated. So I didn't go there because I was invited to be part of an MOU. I went there to brief the president on the attempts we were also making to develop the motorway. And they suggested that, these people could also help us to do it.
It didn't just say your intent was to go brief the president, but you were drafted in at short notice.
No, because I was minister in the Mohammed government, and there was an activity happening, and it was in terms of port expansion, and it had been bearing on roads. It was not like drafted in. I mean, I was just invited, one as a minister to sit in, and 2 had a bearing on my sector too. So I just chanced on it. It was not by plan. It was by accident.
So now, if it is to be established, say at the formation of the contract stage, MPS did represent to the other factions. Say you better rebuild the motorway, and then at the end of it all, one more is it enough? If it appears in the master contract, is it enough to ask for renegotiation solely on the misrepresentation? Now,
at this point, I can't say it was a misrepresentation. At this point, I can only say that we have to look at the surrounding circumstances and see whether or not we can hold MPS responsible for the development of the motorway. But to see, I don't have enough evidence to come to the conclusion that there was a misrepresentation. All I'm saying is that media may call briefly His Excellency the President on what attempts were making to develop the motorway. At that point, MPS was engaged. In fact, that was the first time I was coming in contact with MPS. And MPS was engaged in there was a signing, MOU signing ceremony, and I was there, and I was invited to sit in. So my briefing was translated. I didn't even brief the president again.
So you hadn't taken briefing, or you hadn't been briefed on the MOU signing program?
No, I don't know anything about it.
And then so what you
Yes.
And as I can say,
yes. And because the decision was taken.
It didn't na Saturday na I could brief the president.
But president, they want to be brief now at any time. For president, you can brief at any time.
And na that time, how did you feel? Say, ukokoto so unya briefing bia. Yes, so these people could help rebuild the motorway. Now you were so elated and commended them in the comments. So
first of all, I had met a group that was interested in developing the motorway. I was going to brief the president on this group that was interested in helping us develop the motorway. I chanced on another group that was prepared to help us develop the motorway. My intention and my purpose as a minister was to help develop the motorway. Why wouldn't I be happy?
Because you were the fourth speaker at the MOU signing ceremony. Now that we catch the SSL, you had gone there for a different purpose. Now, I'm personal wakasa. How do we take you out of the whole scenario?
Oh, I'm not saying, and I'm not asking to be taken off out of the whole scenario. I'm only giving you the support. I'm not asking to be taken off. I've not said so. I'm saying that I went to brief the president, and when I went, I chanced on MPS. And they were going to develop the Tema motorway, Tema port expansion. And their activities would touch and concern the Tema motorway. And that was the reason why I went to brief the president. And so it was welcome this for me. It was welcome. You are going to travel to Kumasi. You are still looking at how to get a means of transport. And a friend pulls by your house and says, I want to go to Kumasi with my car. What do? Jump into the car.
But just at the Yanti, who has to say, here is one party proposing to develop the Tema port and also rebuild completely the Tema motorway. And at the initial stages of the MOU preparation, the Minister for Roads and Highways was not part of the briefing, was not part of the whole setup. And the minister had gone on a different tangent to go and brief the president. Then he had gone to meet the MOU, then he's drafted, and then he speaks on it. Sana, you need government. Sana say MOU government, no, na.
Government is a continuing matter. So it means that while I was working very hard to develop the motorway, the president too was not sitting on the motorway. And so probably if I had met him before the signing ceremony, he would have told me that, this is the thing we are also doing. This is my top. But when I went, they were almost ready to do the signing ceremony. And so it was just like, we say that, welcome has met, where are you from?
Now, here, Panamoya signing ceremony at the residence of the president and I said Jubilee House.
No, at the residence of the president.
And if you Namoya, no.
At the official residence of the president.
Oh, okay. Now, had you seen the concession agreement between MPS and Gapua and Sana would want to Kotomubi?
I didn't talk about the concession agreement between MPS and Gapua. I never spoke about the concession agreement. I only spoke in terms or in relation to the development of the road.
Right.
I didn't say anything about a port expansion project. No.
And we should understand, say, you were told about the building of the road at the time I woke to say, MOU signing ceremony, no?
Exactly.
Right. Honorable member for Tamale Central, former Roads Minister, Inusah Fuseini Alaji.
Thank you.
Right.
Needs FM.